Yo, yo, yo. You joined me at another cross-country race. Today, we're at the Surrey Cross Country Championship. So this isn't one of the league races, it's one of the championships. But that does mean that you get some incredibly fast runners at the front. It was quite a humbling experience. I wasn't looking to win this race, but I did want to pace it a little bit better. In the last race I came 172nd, so my goal was 171st or better. And yeah, just to try and pace it a bit better. So it's 12 kilometres. Thought I would try and hold around 4:30 pace, but it was an incredibly hilly course. So anywhere between 4:30, 4:40, but I'm still getting used to pacing these uphills and downhills. So it's 3 laps of the vineyard around Denbies wine estate. So hopefully this video will give you a good idea of the course. You can see down on the bottom right the course layout. I'll show the gradient on there, the ups and downs, and it's 3 laps around this vineyard. So if you are running this in the future, you can get a good idea of what to expect. Lots of hills. Really enjoying my first season of cross country. I feel like it's given me that first feeling of actually racing alongside someone and pushing me. In fact, this guy on the right here, I think he was from Ranelagh Harriers. We had a really good sprint finish at the end of the Wimbledon race. Unfortunately, I didn't have my camera on that day, but I just said hello to him and it's nice to see him again. So yeah, the course is 3 laps of Denbies wine estate. It's basically 3 really large uphills, followed by 3 quite short and very steep uphills. A couple of nice downhills, but it was a little bit slippy. It had been snowing and was a bit frosty. It was my first time ever wearing spikes. So you'll see here, this little downhill was really quite slippy. And this blue cap guy, I was chasing him down for the whole race. So in my head we were racing, I'm sure he was just going for his normal run, but he kept on just pulling away from me and I was really trying to hold on. What's really interesting here, we're only about 2 kilometres in and we're on this really big uphill. But you can see on the map on the bottom right, it kind of loops back and comes down on the right hand side. And first place was already probably about 1 kilometre ahead of me. There's a bloke called Jack Kavanagh. I'm not really doing him justice saying, oh, it's just a bloke called Jack Kavanagh. This guy was insane. He's got a sub 14 5k. He ended up winning by, I think, around 2 minutes, and I'm fairly sure he probably ended up easing up at the end as well. So yeah, just an honour to run alongside a British and English champion. See, Blue Cap is just getting away from me. But what a gorgeous day. It was a frosty, cold day, but quite sunny. I learnt a few things on this race. I noticed at Wimbledon, I was kind of flying on these downhills. You can see kind of 3:30 pace, but people were getting away from me. People were running much faster than I was on the downhills, and that came as a bit of a surprise. You know, I thought I was pushing, and yeah, people were getting away from me. So I thought, oh, maybe actually, if I'm catching people on the uphills, maybe I will push a little bit more on the uphills, maybe, perhaps. But yeah, it's just a gorgeous course. Take the corner here. There's a little bit of a downhill and then a very steep uphill at the end of it. And I thought, yeah, if I'm not catching these guys on the downhills, I've got to make sure they don't get too far away from me on the uphills. So we're coming up to the end of the second lap. Sorry, the end of the first lap. We have this big steep uphill to the corner and then a nice steep downhill. On the final lap you go straight ahead. On every other lap you turn right and carry on. I'll jump ahead a couple kilometres here. And yeah, that first corner was quite slippy. Apart from that, the downhills were quite nice to run. And there was a bit of a gap. I'd noticed that the group of runners ahead were getting away from me and I was just getting away from the runners behind me a little bit. So I pushed on that last uphill just to try and latch onto these guys and make sure they don't get too far away. I was trying to keep my heart rate below about 180, 185, but this was the steepest bit of the course. And even though my heart rate is 175, it felt very, very tough. Gradient here you can see is 9.6. And when you get onto the downhill, everything is wanting you to stop, but I can see they've already opened up a gap on me again, so just trying to open my legs up a bit. We're about halfway through the race, and I'm feeling good. So I mentioned Blue Cap, he's off in the distance. I'll try and catch him up again. But the other guy I was racing today is, what team was this? It was Dorking and Mole Valley. So he's got the knee brace. I believe he was called Andrew. Every time I was running around, I heard a couple of people cheering him on. I think he was a local. And then this is the other guy I was racing as well, this green top. Pretty sure he was Guildford and Godalming. I should have pointed him out earlier. What was happening was every single downhill, I really thought I was going fast, and he flew by me. So on that last 2 kilometres, he had just absolutely sailed so far ahead of me. He was a tiny bit slower on these uphills, but again here, look, you can see 400 metres ahead, he's just absolutely gapped me again. And I really thought I was running quick, 3:30, we're 7-8 kilometres in. But it was interesting, so I was racing, down to 3 kilometres now. I was chatting with a knee brace guy afterwards, and just as we're coming down here, we are, I think I let out a bit of gas there, and I'm suddenly a kilogram lighter, so now I've got a bit more speed, a bit of a boosters. But I thought I'm going to really try and not get lapped. So just as we turn right, they opened up the fence for the leaders, who must have been right behind us. Just jumping a kilometre ahead, managed to catch up with Guildford on this uphill again. We're at the end of the downhill. He'd been flying past me, and my main goal here was I need to get ahead of him on this uphill, because I know how quick he is on the downhill. So I was just trying to get ahead of him. And Blue Cap, this was the biggest uphill on the whole course, and I know that they're quicker than me on the downhill, so just really trying to push up this hill to get some distance on them. I've been trying a few new things, so next time I'm recording I'll turn down the quality just a tiny bit, and I think hopefully that will increase the stability. And I've also tried just chatting through this all in one go, so we'll see how that turns out. It might just be a bit waffly. But we are at the first downhill, and I am dying. I know that guy's about to come flying past me again in a minute, but I'm just trying to keep the legs moving. I haven't seen knee brace, but I know he's nearby, and I'm just trying to not lose too much distance to Blue Cap, and hopefully try and get him on this next uphill, and that's coming in about half a kilometre or so. It was quite an icy and slippy course, but the spikes were doing me well. I was definitely starting to struggle here. We had about 2 kilometres left, and yeah, it was tough. Just a beautiful course and a beautiful day. Yeah, I was really appreciating the spikes here. I think this guy on the left was just in some trail shoes, so I think he was slipping around just a tiny bit. But Blue Cap has again got away from me, and this is why I was loving cross country so much. I'm sure he was just running his own race, but it's the first time I've ever kind of felt like I was racing people and trying to beat them, and it really made me push beyond what I usually would. So yeah, I'm sure I'm only overtaking this guy because I'm in my spikes and got some better grip. But we're down to the last mile now. I know that there's one very sharp uphill coming in a minute, so I'm going to push really hard on that and just try and save something for that last downhill sprint. Can I catch up with Blue Cap? He's been running away from me the entire race. I'll do what I can. And especially here, I don't know if you can just see in the shadow on the left, there's someone right behind me, and I really didn't want to get overtaken. I've just tried to pick up the pace again, but I was really surprised just how quick everybody was on these down. Oh, it's our speedy downhill guy. Yep, he's gone. I'm going 3:30, 10 kilometres in. I just could not keep up with him on the downhills. I know that there's one uphill coming. Will I be able to catch him back up? I had a good chat with him afterwards, so he definitely made me try and pick up the pace on these downhills. He was a machine on them. But again, there's another person right on my tail. You can see in the shadow. I've just got to do something to try and catch up with these guys. when you've got someone running on your heels like this, if you can just see in the shadow there, it's right on me, it just makes you push so much harder. So we're on the end of the third lap. I know that these two guys ahead of me are gonna fly by on the last kind of 600 metres. It's all downhill, so I have to get ahead of them on this uphill and just do what I can. We have a very short, steep uphill. There's a bit of a crowd. Will I be able to get ahead of them? We've had so much back and forth, me and this green guy. I've caught up to him on every uphill, and then every downhill he's just sailed by, so I can't just get ahead of him. I need to make a bit of a gap. And this is where the real hill starts. We're up to 3%. I wonder if my video is ever so slightly off. It certainly felt steeper than 3% nets. I feel like I am slowly reeling them in. I reckon we're about halfway up this hill. I've closed the gap, but I am not in front of him, and I know that I need to be. I knew that there was a guy from our club just in this group of people at the top, and if there's someone watching, that always gives you a bit of a boost as well. So I made it in my head, I'm going to just push to the very top of this hill, try and overtake my two rivals if I can. Can I get any gap on them, or are they just going to get me on the downhill again? All I've got in the back of my mind as we're climbing up this 5% gradient hill, 11 kilometres in. There's 1 kilometre left. What have I got left in the tank? Keep on pushing to the corner. Ice, snow, doesn't matter. Get to the corner, and then we're on the kilometre to the end. 185, 186, my heart rate is skyrocketing, and now we are off. And it was hilarious. Like, again, I absolutely thought I was flying down here, and there's about 4 runners right behind me, all going the same speed. Every time I kicked, they went with me below 3 kilometres. I'll try and sort out this stability for the next video. I think I will be able to finish it, to sort it out, but I'm just doing everything I can just to... It might look like I'm overtaking people and doing really well, but I know there's a group of about 4 runners right behind me, pushing. Blue cap, green top, and knee brace from earlier, and I am just giving it absolutely everything I've got. And somehow they are all still with me. And there he goes, knee brace from earlier. I think we had a chat afterwards. We were racing the whole way, he's pushing so hard, I just cannot keep up with him. I'm determined not to let the others catch me and overtake me, but I just couldn't keep up with him, and he was flying. Even on flat ground now, doing 3:30 at the end of a 12 kilometre race. 190 heart rate. Just desperately trying to hold on. I knew it was about 12 kilometres, maybe there's 200 metres to go. I thought, oh, I can see the end. Can I hold on to him? And every time I sped up, he must have heard my laboured breathing. He kept speeding up too. The camera's going wild. Can we do anything here? He's sped up again. He's now below 3 minutes. Sorry for the motion sickness, but I have to show these action shots for the last 200 metres. He's made a gap round the corner. What have we got left? And we have got it. We have dipped below 230 kilometre. He's chasing us down. He's the local boy. People are cheering him on. Oh, but we crossed the line.
Oh, mate. You get me going.
And yeah, my t-shirt fell in front of my camera here, so sorry about this. But yeah, I don't know if you heard me just saying thank you for keeping me going there. I also caught up with green shirt guy. He was...
You kept me going all race, mate.
He was keeping me going the entire race. So yeah, a lot of fun that race, and see you next time. We managed to do it. Improved on our 170th position. Got down to 162. We beat our friend from Dorking Mole Valley by 1 second. Alright, I'll see you next time. Peace. GG.